Now, it's fair to say that the big golf brands have had an excellent year when it comes to iron releases in 2021. But which one's better out of the Taylormade P770 and the Titleist T200? Let's find out, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here guys. First things first, I'd like to warmly welcome you all to this very YouTube channel and to a brand new video. Today I'm testing the Taylormade P770 against the Titleist T200 iron. Guys, get in the comments below which iron do you think is going to perform best for me. What does it mean by performing best? And which iron do you think would potentially perform best for you? Does anybody out there use either the P770s or the T200s? If you do guys, let me know in the comments below. And also leave us a like on this video so that I know you're enjoying this comparison. So we're going to kick things off with the iron that's been around slightly longer than the T200. The P770 came into our lives quite out of the blue off the back of the success of the Taylormade P790. This is the sibling rivalry. This is the younger brother. And we all know that younger brother's the best brother. You'll know if you've got an older brother like I have. The styling on the P770 is absolutely fantastic. So much so that these are used by scratch golfers, by mid-handicap golfers, and even by high-handicap golfers who have that desire to have a slightly more compact looking club head. I've got both these clubs in a Project X 6.0 shaft, and they are both a 7 iron. The P770 is 33 degrees of loft, the T200 34 degrees of loft, so fairly similar you could say. That's a nice one to kick things off. Now usually for me guys, the 7 iron would be going around 165 yards, so 169 yards on the first one I'm quite pleased with. Obviously both these irons are designed for speed, for power, for distance, but then I also think they're designed for sleek good looks, for that little bit of sex appeal in the bag, and especially that little bit of sex appeal down at the ball. The top line on the P770 is wonderful. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, and the offset's just about right as well. Can we hit another one the same as that, please? Oh, absolutely, 175. Now, I do expect these to go a little bit further than my standard 7 iron. I'm currently using a Mizuno JPX 921 Tour, and although that does have a little bit of a perimeter weighting, it doesn't really have the technology that these irons have. The Taylormade P770 features inverted cone technology, it features speed foam, we have the through slot speed pocket on the bottom there for a little bit more ball speed on off center, especially low hits. And I will address the elephant in the room now, the forged hollow body construction, which some people love and some people hate. I personally sit on the fence with it a little bit. I worry that sometimes I get one of those shots that just keeps going and going with mega low spin. And that felt very bottomy, but it's still 168. That is the beauty about both these irons. You don't have to strike them precisely out the middle to get that performance from them. And it just makes golf that little bit less stressful, a little bit more fun, and that touch easier, which we could all do with, couldn't we? So let's hit 2 more shots now with the P770. That'll make 5, then we'll hit 5 with the T200, then another 5, then another 5. That kind of shares it out nicely, and we can get a nice difference in performance and feel and looks. That is outrageous, that's wonderful. Now the spin is quite low there, it's 4,700, which for a 7 iron is low. But the distance is massive, 177, that's a club longer than I would usually be playing. And when I did a video on these saying that 99% of golfers should use these clubs, that's exactly what I was kind of thinking. More distance, more forgiveness, just more everything really, and still look good, which in the past you couldn't get an iron that performed this good, that looked this good. See, even that was horrendous, and that's still 160 odd. Right, time for the offering from Titleist, the T200. Now the T200 is jam-packed full of technology. We do have denser D18 tungsten weights and a 2000 degree Fahrenheit brazing process, which is used in aerospace construction, aerospace construction, and Titleist do say that the idea behind that is to shift CG more specifically in each iron head so that you can get, say, a higher launching long iron, you can get more control on the short irons, so each iron is that little bit different. Now, looks wise, it does look very similar down at the ball to the 770. I think it does look maybe a touch bigger, a touch clunkier. Remember, we've got 1 extra degree of loft on there, and the back of the club has like quite a specific back on there. You'll see that that isn't metal, and it is the muscle plate. That's designed to absorb vibrations, provide better acoustics, obviously, which means sound, and also help with that CG that we spoke about. Right, what numbers are we going to get from this? Now, straight away, that feels and sounds totally different. It actually sounds a little bit firmer, which is subjective. It depends entirely on how you like your irons to feel. Let's hit a couple more before I do make a conclusion, or jump to a conclusion, should I say. Guys, comment below, do you prefer a soft feeling iron or a firm feeling iron? It's straight down the middle though, and the distance is good as well. You see, I'm not getting as much feedback from that. I'm not getting if I struck it well or not, whereas with the 770 I did seem to generate a little bit more feedback off the club. Again, it's straight down the middle though. Let's go again. I really am finding it difficult to argue with the numbers here for the T200 because they're exactly what I would want for a 7 iron. Sound-wise, feel-wise, it doesn't feel worse. It just doesn't feel as soft. It doesn't feel as quiet. So it depends entirely on what you want your irons to feel like. Now the T200 also features a new improved max impact technology, which is a polymer core, and it's designed to improve both off-center speed and mass efficiency at impact. That works alongside the forged L face to give you that premium feel, to give you that stability. Let's hit a couple more, then jump back into the 770. See there, that's one of the best shots I've hit all day. Spinning at 5.5, so still quite low for a 7 iron, but I would expect that with both of these clubs. I'm not getting much from this face. It does feel quite firm. That's not to say that it's a bad thing, but you can probably tell from how I'm reacting, I do prefer a slightly softer feel, which is in the 770. Let's go one more with this and then swap over again. Now I do have to say that consistency-wise, you can see that they're all pretty good and pretty straight, and the numbers aren't too bad either. So does feel even matter if it performs better? That's another one which is delightful. The numbers are bang on. They're perfect. 5 more 770, 5 more with this. Guys, get in the comments below which one would you game if you could game any of these clubs. And chuck a like on the video if you're enjoying it while you're down there as well. I'm going to speed through these a bit more so I'm not wasting your time too much. 770 just looks that little bit smaller down at the ball, so depending on what you like, this could be a winner. And with the audio having such a big impact on the feel, guys, get in the comments below, can you hear a difference when I'm hitting these? I know we're inside, so the audio isn't fantastic, but I can definitely sense a huge difference. Huge. It is quite interesting to see two hollow-bodied irons go head-to-head with different technology, but let's be fair, similar technology as well. It's quite similar, isn't it? Both hollow-body, both focusing very heavily on maintaining speed on off-center hits and getting that consistent distance. This feels so good, it really does. Taylormade have nailed this when it comes to sound and feel. Last shot with the 770. That was the worst one of the bunch, but it's still up there. That was very nearly a hosel rocket. Very nearly. Right, back to the T200. And I must say as well that Titleist have such a huge array of irons on the market now. We have the T100, the T100S, the T200, T300, T400. Generally, there is going to be an iron out there for you if you are a Titleist fan. And it's funny how they did replace the AP1 and 2 with this bigger range so that there is more options out there for people. Obviously, Taylormade have the MB, the MC, the 770, the 790, Sim 2. There's loads, isn't there? There's loads. Right. See, that felt like it didn't deserve to go that far. That was wonderful. So a lot of it will come down to the looks, will come down to the shelf appeal, will come down to the sound, the feel, the feeling that the club gives you when you hit it well. Because I think that if you're hitting the clubs not very well, generally you're not going to like them anyway. I've hit both these pretty good so far, and we've got 3 shots left. For me, I would be buying the club that gives me the most joy when I hit it out of there. Like that bit, which, there. And I certainly think that if you're about to go and spend this amount of money, it definitely has to be right. You can't be wasting that amount of money on a set of golf clubs. Right, that's the best one. Yeah, I felt the 770 was kind of quite easy and quick to get into. I feel like I've grown my way into the T200. I've sort of got used to the feel, got used to the sound, and the performance has come with it. 20 shots hit with potentially two of the best-selling irons of 2021 across the board. Which performed best? Let's take a look. So we will kick things off with the Titleist T200 dispersion. I'm really happy with that. For me to hit 10 shots like that, most of those are going to be on the green. Most of them are at my target. P790, more of the same. If anything, you could say that's more consistent. If I flick through those, you'll see the grouping is a little bit better with the P770. Sorry, not P790. What about the number? I mean, look at those. 20 shots and not one over here. That's nice, isn't it? So, averages for the T200 and the P770. As you can see here, I've not taken any shots out. So this is 20 comparable shots. 173 for the T200 and 169 with the P770. I actually had more club head speed with the P770, but the T200 generated more ball speed. Spin, both very low, as you can see there, 4.8 and 4.9. I'm not amazingly pleased with those, but the big difference being we create a bit more ball speed with the Titleist. So, what do we all think to that? An extra 4 yards with the Titleist T200 as opposed to the Taylormade P770. Now, both of those clubs have gone further than I would expect my 7.9 to go. I'm around a 165 player. I'm usually very consistent with that. I'll tell you now, some of the shots that I hit there were up at 177, 178. That would worry me a little bit. I wouldn't want that because I'm never going to play for that. Unless I'm downhill and expecting a flyer or downwind, I would never play for a 180 yard 7-iron. So it would actually go long and then I'd probably miss the green and then I'd probably not go up and down. I'd probably make a bogey with a 7-iron in my hands, which isn't ideal. But I've digressed massively there, haven't I? I personally still preferred the 770 just because of the feel, just because of the sound. They look very, very similar. I made a comment earlier that the T200 looks a bit bigger, maybe fractionally, but I think they do look both great down at the ball. For someone who's wanting a little bit of more of a confidence inspirational club, you're wanting that club with a little bit more performance, a little bit more forgiveness, you've got to give both these a try. I'm sure we could mix that up and the numbers would deviate a little bit because obviously of my consistency there. But for me, the T200 has outperformed the 770 if that's what you're after, if you're after a little bit more distance. So guys, do this test for yourself if you're in the market for some irons. Let me know how it goes. Let me know if you are gaming any of these. Let me know if you got fitted for some of them as well. Looks wise, I think the T200 is one of those which will grow on you. You know, when you see a new car, a new model car, a new shaped car, and you're like, oh, I hate it, and then eventually you love it. I think it's going to be like that. The P770 just looks a little bit more understated, a little bit more classic, which is why I think it's probably got the shelf appeal at the moment. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, smash that subscribe button below and leave us a like on this video so that I know you enjoy these videos. Apart from that, I'll really look forward to seeing you all at exactly the same time tomorrow. Bye!